What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound. And I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, so I'm going to be a little bit critical here, but offer not a solution, but an idea for what I think would be better. And basically, what I'm going to go after here is the set rentals. Now, this is something that I admittedly was excited about early on because I thought, okay, this reduces frictions. This is going to be something that people can come in and just, be able to start playing the game, just go in and rent something for super cheap. And then it seems like this was the focus of the team for a while, and then they pivoted to have an even more robust free-to-play experience, which I don't blame them for. I think that was the right move. All I'm saying is that for a good period, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whenever it was, we kept hearing about this set rentals, and then it came out, and I would say it came out to not much fanfare or even much usage. So even just looking at it now, for example, and I haven't done this yet, so let's see, I looked at Rebellion, and it's just like, okay, if you wanted to rent Rebellion cards, for example, you could come in and see here that there's no listings available, and that's maybe because Rebellion is slightly scarcer set. So maybe you can come in and look at Chaos Legion. Let's see how many rentals are available here, or how many sets are available for rent. But basically, what I'm going to suggest, right? So here you can come in and get. Okay. So and this is just a bronze level, right? For 75 DEC. So it's like 7-8 cents a day. It's not actually not bad. But again, you're playing at the lower levels. I don't know that if there's a way to do it where you can get like maxed level copies of this. I guess you can do the custom, but I don't even know how much is available for this. And if people are using this, I would actually appreciate if you could speak up and let me know. But in terms of looking at what's available here, I mean, this is nothing, right? I mean, there's no full sets. Yeah, I don't know. This is it doesn't seem like it's accomplishing the goal. Now, they've built out the infrastructure, so maybe at some point in the future they expand on it and it does become something awesome. I'm not trying to hate on it, but my main point is that if you remember, there was the nifty arcade what's that called? Scholar kind of setup that they had. So this was completely done through a third party, and it's no longer available. But the basic idea was that you could come into the game and you could enter into a partnership with somebody who was offering a deck, right? They would set the terms and say, okay, you can get a delegation of all these cards, and if you take these cards, then you get 50% of the winnings, or you get 40%, 25%, whatever it is, right? You would essentially agree to whatever their terms were. If you agree to them, right, then you could accept them. Sometimes if they had really good cards, and maybe there was a bunch of gold foils back in the day, it was a gold foil set or gold foil collection. Maybe they offered something more aggressive, where they keep 75%, you keep 25%, knowing that there'd be a lot more earnings. So. But either way, you allowed people to set that up, and they did set that up with a lot of the cards and extra cards that they had, and cards that they got right from the team, which essentially got burned and are no longer in the mix. But there's still a ton of extra cards out there, and people still have a ton of extra cards. And I know we're going through this process where the team is focusing on the scholar tournaments, but I genuinely think one area that could improve this is offering what that third party Nifty Arcade had, but actually built into the system, right? So instead of not instead, but in addition to the set rentals, now you could also have a complete scholar section within the game that people can totally take advantage of. So I can go to the market and I can rent cards if I really want to, or I can go and see what's available for me to scholar under, right? And this is where things could potentially get. I don't want to see bad, right? But it's just will there be botting allowed with something like that? So somebody comes in and rents or delegates a bunch of cards, or it gets a bunch of cards delegated to them, but they just play in wild format. Again, is that, if you remove the emotional whatever for botting, or your principal stance on botting, which I fully understand and I respect, and you just look at this from an economic impact. If you're getting people to participate more in the economy, if they're participating in wild, they're burning DEC, right? And sure, could there be withdrawal from the system or extraction from the system? Again, I'm not saying that this idea has thought through everything. I'm just saying that it should be offered as a way for people to engage, and it should be offered in game. Because I thought it was a fantastic idea. I took advantage of it. I think many others were able to take advantage of it when it was available through Nifty Arcade. But now that that's gone, and it's been gone for a while, and we're looking at this opportunity of bringing on a bunch of new players, giving them the option to buy their own cards, to rent their own cards, but also, if they want to, easily pair up in Scholar with somebody through a completely trustless and verifiable way, right? So yes, you can still go out and like find somebody to Scholar, and they can delegate the cards, and you guys create your own. You create your own agreement there. That's fine. But to be able to do it where I'm just like, okay, here's all my extra cards, or let's say I have like an extra Chaos Legion deck or something like that. I'm going to put that out there. I could put it on survival mode, but maybe I don't really, care about participating in survival mode, and I would rather have this available out to the ecosystem. I mean, if you think about it, this is something that even the DAO could do, right? To make use of all of the packs and cards that it's sitting on. This is a service that it could provide where it becomes a revenue share so that the DAO earns money by offering these decks, right? So maybe this is something that maybe the DAO even puts a little money to invest in, right? Get somebody to create this, because then it's offering a service to players, right? And I know this might get into some gray area where it's like maybe competing against players, but really it's just offering a bunch of cards. It has assets that it could be doing something with. It could be providing liquidity to the card market, or at least to players, to be able to come in and participate at the higher levels and really get them fully emotionally involved and engaged in the game, while also earning something for the DAO long term, right? And then we could, of course, determine what we want to do with all that extra SPS that the DAO is earning, but that's a conversation for a separate time and a separate place. So again, I'm just thinking that there's an opportunity here, just because set rentals didn't quite get where I think the team was trying to go, and where I was aspirationally hoping that it would go. But we do have a precedent for something that was working for a short period of time through a third party. And I think if they can implement that into the game itself, integrate it within the game itself, it could go a long way. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.